Reading with your kids.
Hey, so great to see you. Come on in. Hi, my name is Jedley, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We hope that 2019 is off to a great start for you and your family, and we hope you are resolving this year to read more with your kids. We have a wonderful guest here, some great ideas that help you make all those resolutions come true. His name is G Brian Benson. He's here to talk to us about his book, Habits for Success. You know, one of the things people resolve to do now at this time of year is to lose weight and to get into a healthy lifestyle. If you're one of those people, give this message a good listen. Hey, this is Jedley. You know, for years, I struggled to get back to a healthy weight. I had been an athlete all throughout high school and college. And then when I got into the real world and had a job as a social worker, well, I got to tell you, I just forgot about exercise and I ate my way to a very, very unhealthy life. It would have been so much easier for me to get back to that healthy lifestyle that I loved in high school and college if I had a tool like Chronometer. We're really happy that the folks at Chronometer have decided to become sponsors and supporters of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. And you can find out all about their great product at our website, readingwithyourkids.com/fitness. readingwithyourkids.com/fitness. I mean, this is a great tool. It's a really great tool. It helps, not only does it help you track your calories and help you track your exercise, but it also helps you track your nutrition. You know, you're just going on a diet and reducing calories. It's not the right way to go. You need to make sure that you're still having the right amounts of nutrients and proteins and the mix and all that kind of stuff. That's why Chronometer is so very useful. It's really easy to use. It helps you track 60-plus nutrients for 200,000-plus foods. And like I said, it lets you log your diet, your exercise, your biometrics, put notes in there. It helps you make custom foods and recipes. It even has a mobile app so you can log on the go. You can check it all out and also check it out for free at our website, readingwithyourkids.com/fitness. Joining us right now from beautiful Los Angeles in California. He's been a guest on the show before. We love him. He is the author of some great children's books. The most recent is Lucy and Chester's Amazing Adventure, and also a fantastic book for adults called Habits for Success. Please welcome back author and movie star, or TV star, we'll see, G. Brian Benson. Brian, how are you?
I'm great, Jen. How are you?
I love it. I'm beautiful here. It's a balmy 32 degrees here in Boston, so it feels like summer.
I think it's probably going to be 68 and sunny today here. Not rubbing it
there you
at
go.
all, but
and
yeah.
you're wearing a sweater, right? And it's a little chilly for you.
Yeah.
Well, we love having Brian on the show, and one of the things I love about the podcast is I've become friends with so many of our past guests, and we're connected on social media and everything. And Brian has such a positive social media presence out there. He's always posting, some really thought-provoking posts and some encouraging posts and motivating posts, and oftentimes posting pictures from a TV or movie set, and that's always very cool. And it's a welcome relief and a nice change of pace from a lot of the negative nonsense you see on media and social media.
Yes, I think it's so important. Thank you for the nice introduction, by the way. Yeah, for me, it's just, it's not like, I don't know, it's not even really a conscious thing. It's just like, I feel like I'm supposed to do it, and I really enjoy creating positive media in so many different ways, whether it's a self-help book for adults or a children's book, a spoken word video, a short film, a presentation, you name it. I'm just having fun learning and growing and gaining my own self-awareness. And my hope is that I can help other people become more self-aware and help identify their gifts as well.
You just touched on something that I've discovered. I discovered that I've loved doing it for a long time, but I've been conscious of it. That whole idea of the joy you find in learning something new, which is always a blast, and then sharing it with others.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting because I've always tried to kind of be the best version of myself that I can be. And I didn't really start to kind of, I don't know, tap into my true authentic self until I left my family's business about 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And everything that I've created, I mean, it was all accidental, and it's just been kind of me following the intuitive breadcrumbs that has brought me to where I am today. But just through me kind of working on myself and stepping out of my comfort zone, following that intuitive hit, all these projects kind of started evolving and happening. So everything that I've done is kind of an extension of my own self-growth process.
Yeah, it's great. And I want to talk a little bit about Lucy and Chester's Amazing Adventures, but first I want to touch on the book that you wrote for adults. But as we were chatting a little bit before the show, Habits for Success, I think there's a lot of great material in there that parent and child might be able to tackle together. Why don't you just give us first an overview of the book and why you decided to write it?
Sure, thanks. Well, you know, it's basically a culmination of the last 10 years of my hero's journey. I think, you know, we all kind of go on them from time to time when we kind of maybe have to figure out who we are and what we really want to do with our lives. And mine just happened to happen a little bit later in life. I'm a little bit of a late bloomer, but it's all perfect. And so I've always tried to, you know, be in the observer's role of my own life, mm-hmm. so that I can kind of try to learn from my mistakes and not have them happen again. You know, that doesn't always happen. Right. But, so I have just been basically journaling, paying attention to my own journey. Mm-hmm. So I came up with, I think there's 48 chapters in the book, a whole bunch of different things that have worked for me that, I felt were important to kind of help me get to where I'm at and that really helped me solidify my own foundation. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and I know that they can help other people as well. I'm not one that try to tell anybody what to do. I just try to lead by example. Mm-hmm. And I tried to write this book. I know some self-help books can be kind of dry, but I really tried to make this book entertaining, inspiring, and thought-provoking all at the same time. And I share a lot of personal stories. Mm-hmm. And I'm really proud of how it turned out.
Excellent. Yeah. The reason I wanted to talk about the whole aspect of parents and child doing this together is one of the things I learned in my journey as a parent, and you know, we're kind of at, well, it's not the end, but it's, you know, the latter stage. My kids are 22 and 25, and they're both, you know, in successful careers, and they're starting. I know that the times where I tried to lecture the kids and, you know, lay down the law and you should do this or you should do that, those times were really wasted. What was much more effective was when I was doing something that was good for me and my kids saw it and they picked up on it. You know, a great example is exercise. You know, I at one point in my life before I met my wife, I had gone from a competitive high school and college athlete, very successful, and then I just put on a massive amount of weight and became very unhealthy. And thankfully, it didn't last too long. I kind of got back on track. And when the kids came in my life, I made a conscious effort to try to start eating healthier and be more regular and disciplined with the exercise. And that's something, and I never was with the kids, you got to do this, you got to do that. It was, I'm doing this. And if you want to come on. And it's something my son does on occasion, but it's something my daughter, like, grabbed on, you really latched onto. And for many years, we were at the gym together every morning. And now she continues that, but she's doing yoga and all these really kind of really cool new agey things. And I'm still the old guy with the weights and the elliptical, you know, but I think doing things together and developing habits together, it's a much more effective way to help our kids grow as opposed to lecturing.
I totally agree with you, and I kind of learned the hard way myself. But I have a son who's soon to be 25 as well, and he's a really sharp and creative guy, and he's also one of those people. I think we all are to some extent, but he really is. He has to learn the mistakes on his own. And, he may have the knowledge, but he's not going to utilize it out of stubbornness. Mm-hmm. And, but you're absolutely right. I learned when he was in high school that the best way for me to really kind of try to make a difference was just to try to take care of myself and be a good role model. Mm-hmm. Just lead by example, let him know that I love him, mm-hmm. and just kind of let him come around on his own. Mm-hmm. And he has, and it's interesting. We're different in so many ways, but yet we're similar in a lot of ways too. So, it's just early on, I probably incorrectly tried to maybe get him to like a lot of the stuff that I liked, mm-hmm. just for my own benefit. Mm-hmm. And that wasn't good. And he rebelled against that. And so now I just we meet halfway, or I go in his side of the tracks a little bit and do some of the things that he likes to do, that I normally wouldn't partake in or whatever, but just, it's about connecting, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And obviously, the book Habits for Success is for adults, but there's, I was just thumbing through it. I mean, pretty much all the chapters, there's things that the parent and child can talk about together or do together. And it's a great way just for them to maybe kind of pass on some positive, habits mm-hmm. to their kids, at an early age.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the ones we were talking about beforehand that there are a couple that really jumped out as things that kids can help the parents do as a habit, or kids can, and probably the most obvious one was get into the habit of playing.
Yes. Boy, I learned that. Well, I'm a very fun, outgoing person, and I played all my life. But when I left the family business and I started writing books and self-help books, I put all this pressure on myself to be perfect and pious, and I need to, you know what I mean? Here I am writing self-help. And it messed me up big time. And I wasn't being me. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't happy. And so, I realized I just need to be me, and I need to go back to what I was doing and just play, live curiously, mm-hmm. live in wonder, go travel a little more like I used to, see things with new eyes. Mm-hmm. And kids are so good at that. They're constantly, doing the make-believe thing or pretending or just inventing games. And, parents would be really, I think it's important for adults to recapture some of that and fall into that mode. It just makes life so much more enjoyable. And it's a great way to bond with your kids. Mm-hmm. But I think it takes the pressure off. It takes the weight off of some of the things that we have to do as adults. Mm-hmm. It just it raises our vibration.
Yeah. And you mentioned something in there that I really like, that get in the habit of being curious. Or, we always talk about it, and we especially talk about it here, parents helping ignite their kids' curiosity of the STEM fields or math or reading. But the opposite can be true too. And I think one of the problems that we find in our society today is that we put ourselves in echo chambers too much as adults, and all we're doing is hearing people just repeat back to us the things that we think we're supposed to feel or believe. And we're not curious to find out what other people are thinking, what the other side is thinking, or what the other side of an issue can be. It's just, well, this is my team. I have to wave this flag, and I don't care what else, and I'm not curious about anything else.
Well, you're right. And I think that the biggest mistake that we can make is to forget that we're constantly learning and growing. Mm-hmm. A lot of times as adults, we just kind of, I don't know, we're not in school anymore, so I don't know, we shut ourselves off a little bit, maybe in some ways. So if you can have an open mind and constantly just, keep your antennas up and just observe, life's so much more enjoyable, and we don't know it all. And the only thing that I do know is that I don't know, and that I'm constantly learning and growing, and I'm open to that. And, there's sometimes I get a little stubborn, but, I'll get smacked a little bit, and it's a good reminder, but we're constantly learning and growing. And if we can just hold on to that and be open to that, mm-hmm. life can really be enhanced.
Yeah, I heard a quote, and I don't have it right, but it was something like the smartest person in the world is ignorant of 99% of the information of the world or the knowledge of the world. You know, the smartest person in the world only understands 1% of our reality.
That's mind-boggling, and I don't disagree. I'm sure that's true.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, you know, as dads, just trying to understand our teenage kids. That was,
yeah.
I would have been lucky to
like
learn
that when I was a
1%.
teenager. Yeah.
Well, tell us a little bit about Lucy and Chester's Amazing Adventures, because you have a great imagination and great creative mind, and you've created some wonderful books for kids. Before Brian tells us about Lucy and Chester's Amazing Adventure, I would love to tell you about my latest picture book. It's called Love That I Matter to You. Love That I Matter to You. I wrote this book specifically for kids to read with their parents. And you will love hearing your kids read this book to you over and over and over again. Now, it is available as an ebook at Amazon, but you can read it for free by going to our website, readingwithyourkids.com. All you need to do is to sign up for a free newsletter, and you will receive a free digital download of Love That I Matter to You. Check it out now at readingwithyourkids.com. Well, tell us a little bit about Lucy and Chester's Amazing Adventures, because you have a great imagination and great creative mind, and you've created some wonderful books for kids.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Lucy and Chester's Amazing Adventures. I wanted to write a book that was kind of exciting and empowering for little girls. And basically, Lucy and her stuffed rabbit, Chester, when Lucy falls asleep, she goes and dreams about traveling all over the world. And so I have her visiting all kinds of different places throughout the world. So it's kind of a geography experiment as well. You know what I mean? And it's rhyming. And I'm really, really proud of how it turned out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. What kind of reactions have you had from kids after they read it? And what's that like when a kid will come up to you and say, "Oh, I read Lucy and Chester's Amazing Adventures," and
I love it. It's always very fun and exciting, and to see some of the reviews that have been left. And you know, and I've gone to some schools and read it, and kids' eyes light up. So I think it's really important just to let children know that there's a huge world out there that doesn't just you know, not where we're living. You know, there's much more to what's going on, and I want them to also believe that they're capable of really kind of pretty much going after whatever they want, if that's what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love that idea of encouraging our kids to understand that they can do anything they want to do. And I also think it's important for us to let our kids know that whatever they want to do is okay. I suppose there's limitations. We don't want kids to grow up to be bank robbers, but you know.
Well, if they're successful, I mean, I don't know.
But I mean,
I'm kidding.
That's you know, something that you know. I mean, I felt, you know, coming from a blue collar family when I first coming from a blue collar family when I first said I wanted to be a social worker, that was insane. What do you mean you're not going to get a union job? What do you mean you're not going to work with tools? and then when I made the terrifying announcement that I wanted to get into the arts and to perform and to do clowning and magic, I mean, my goodness, my family, their heads exploded. And I understand that, you know, because they wanted the best for me, and they didn't understand that you could make a living kind of doing this kind of stuff. Our world is changing, and the traditional jobs that might have been there when we were growing up aren't there anymore. So we have to, I think, as parents, kind of relax a little bit and let our kids know that they're, or at least try to understand their kids' dreams.
I totally agree. You know, when I left my family business, I was very blessed that my dad was okay with that. He just wanted me to be happy. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, I had no idea what I was going to do. But I just felt like I was done growing there. And I felt like I was supposed to be doing something else, or I had this gift inside of me that wanted to come out, yet I didn't know what it was quite yet. But I figured it out by just kind of following my intuition. And, one thing led to another. But having my dad's blessing originally was nice. I mean, I still would have done it otherwise. Mm-hmm. But I think the greatest gift we can give our kids is just to kind of just try to be a good example like we talked about earlier, but just let them be themselves and kind of explore out and, not try to give them the idea of what they're supposed to do or, here's how the next 10 years of your life's going to be. Mm-hmm. We got to let them breathe a little bit and give it to them. Yeah, just let them evolve on their own.
Before we go, I want to talk a little bit because you are really creative and you're doing great things. You're making video, you're doing spoken word, you're writing kids' books, writing adult books. How best do you think we can tap into our own creativity and at the same time encourage our kids, or give our kids permission to be creative?
Well, for me, first and foremost, I just had to give myself permission to kind of follow some of those hits, those intuitive thoughts, because I don't know, part of me felt like I was a little sheepish about like writing kids books and stuff. I don't know why originally, but I didn't come from a blue collar family, but I had to give myself permission first. Mm-hmm. But I think being creative is so important. It really is a great way to just tap into a higher power, whatever you want to call it, and just be fulfilled. I'm happiest when I'm in those moments of creating. And so for me, I think being able to listen to my intuition is kind of the beginning of that. And for me to try to live in a balanced way helps my intuition come through stronger, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I really work hard on my routine and, getting a good night's sleep, eating healthy, getting some exercise in. I'm a former athlete too. And I know that those things help me keep my foundation solid so that my intuition comes through stronger. Mm-hmm. But, meditation, going for a walk, there's all kinds of things that, just actually creating and creating art mm-hmm. is a way of kind of meditation too. And that's a great way to kind of let the intuitive hits come through. Mm-hmm. But, exercise, going for a bike ride or a run, I'm not sure what you did, athletically, but looking back when I used to train for triathlons, those are kind of long forms of meditation for me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Exercise, taking a walk, it's phenomenal. And I don't think especially in schools, we don't realize how important that is. And, when kids sitting at a desk for an hour, for 2 hours, giving them a chance to get up and just run amok for 15 minutes can really yes. kind of clean their minds. And I wasn't training for triathlons. I played soccer and I specialized in knocking people down. That was my talent. So, but you have lots of talents and your talents are on display online. So tell people where they can connect with you and see some of the great stuff that you're creating.
Thank you. Well, you can go to my website, which is gbrianbenson.com. And you can find the books there. You can also go onto Amazon to find the books. The new Habits book, it's habitsforsuccessbook.com. And Lucy and Chester is just lucyandchester.com.
Awesome. So many great ways to connect with our guest, G Brian Benson. Check out the books, Lucy and Chester's Amazing Adventures. Absolutely something you want to add to your family library. And something you want to add to your library too, Habits for Success. A great way to help us keep growing. And in the minute we stop growing, that's kind of it. We want to continue to grow. So check it out. Our guest today has been G Brian Benson. Brian, thank you so much for being part of the show today.
Thank you, Jed. It's always a pleasure.
Please be sure to join us for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. It's going to be another STEM Tuesday edition. And our guest will be our friend Susie Olson. She'll be here talking to us about her great blog, STEM Spark. And she'll also be giving us a great experiment that we can do with our kids. Hey, if you're the author with a great children's book, we would love to have you as a guest on the podcast. Being a guest, it's fun, it's easy, and it is absolutely free. We've had some amazing guests on the show, and we love to have you. All you need to do is visit our website, readingwithyourkids.com, click on the contact button, let us know about your great book. We'll let you know the next easy steps. We want to thank our guest, G Brian Benson, for being here today. Make sure you check out his books, Habits for Success, and also Lucy and Chester's Amazing Adventures. Oh, and we also want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.